everyone, and welcome back to Body Beyond the Scales, a podcast that gets you stronger and more confident in your body through building better habits. Today, I'm joined by Beth, who I am so excited to have on and talk through her weight loss journey and kind of all the changes that she's been making in her own life and documenting on social media. I came across Beth's social media profile, and I absolutely love her sharing her journey. So yeah, Beth, without further introduction, do you wanna give us a bit of a rundown? Who are you?
Well, I'm Beth. I am a mum of two, and I'm currently on, I guess, a weight loss, fat loss, fitness, overall, just kind of health journey, just all of the above.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much me, to be honest. Not really anything else interesting to say about me.
Fair enough. Right, we'll leave it there. That's the end of our
Good start for me.
Job done. So, Beth, I guess if you want to give us a bit of a lowdown, what kicked off this whole weight loss journey where you decided, right, this is it, we're going to make these changes.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I've been struggling with my weight for years. I mean, talking all the way back, since I was a teenager. And I just kind of gradually started putting on weight, lost weight, regained it, just, the kind of the cycle that most people fall into. But over the past, probably 3 years ago, I really started taking it seriously. I joined the gym, and I lost about 3.5 stone, got pregnant, had a baby, gained all of it back, and then I'm back to square one. And yeah, now I'm back at the gym again, sort of finding my feet. And this time, hopefully, gonna see it all the way through to the end. I definitely feel a lot more confident with what I'm doing now, because when I tell you I have done everything, literally everything, but I feel like I finally found a good balance where I've got a lifestyle, I'm having fun with it, and it feels natural instead of, oh my God, do I really have to do this kind of thing? So yeah.
It's always good to hear as well, when people are adopting behavioral changes that feel good for them, rather than just being I crowbarred this diet into my life, I stuck to it, I willpowered my way through it, and then it got rubbish.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear.
I mean, I've done that so many times before. I mean, I've literally tried every single crash diets. I've tried all the shakes, Slimmer World, Weight Watchers, everything. And this is the first time where I've been actually, this really kind of fits into my lifestyle, and it doesn't really feel too taxing. So that's a huge win for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. What I guess give us the worst diet that you've ever done. What was the silliest, craziest
Well, put it this way, I found Tumblr back in the day, back when it was rife with thinspo and stuff. And when I was at uni, I was on very, very low calories a day, and stupid. If I was to ever do that now, I just want to kick my younger self and be like, why did you ever do that? It was so stupid. But I mean, stupidly low calories, dangerous territory. Yeah, that was probably the worst one I've ever done.
It's so weird because obviously, as you mentioned there, Tumblr, the thinspo that was on there, it's almost coming back with
Yeah.
and it's
Oh
so
my God.
scary that it's just going round in this cycle.
I feel like it's going to be that way for life, though. I feel like we're going to sort of be stuck in this really, really disgusting thin era where everyone just wants to be as tiny as possible, these awful crash diets. And then we sort of come round from that, and it's all about fueling our bodies. And then it always just ends up sneaking its way back in. And I've had to block so many things on there, because even now, I'm much more sort of stable with my relationship with food and my body and that. But even so, it's so easy to sort of trickle back into that mindset. And especially when it's kind of everywhere, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
It's
Something
bad.
it's so hard not to see your own body all the time
Mm.
when you're constantly being exposed to bodies as well. So when you're seeing bodies online and bodies everywhere, it's very hard, especially when you're seeing skinnier and skinnier and skinnier bodies, to not
Hmm.
go, "But my body doesn't look like that, and my body doesn't look am I not small enough?" And I think
Yeah.
it's this idea that it goes back to what we probably saw in the early 2000s of the not slim enough, not skinny enough,
Hmm.
and it's the you'll never be small enough. Like there
Yeah.
will always be something else like that someone pulls out of you, whether it be love handles or hip dips or like whatever else they want to list off there. But like
Wide rib cages, all sorts of things. If
yeah,
I
like
swear there's a new thing like every other week. It's mad.
yeah, I saw something the other day as well, and they were talking about like the like hashtag of skinny talk has been banned. But I was like, but
Good.
that doesn't stop the content. Like that's like people still post it.
I mean,
Like yeah, the narrative has changed.
I was gonna say like with like the hashtags and that you can ban a hashtag, but I mean, speaking from like the 2014, 2012 Tumblr days, just change a letter to a number and it's a whole new hashtag, and it's just like people are going to find it because they're going to get trapped into it and actively start seeking it out. It's one of those things where you can kind of like shove a rug over it, but people are going to look underneath regardless. So it's like
Exactly.
yeah, unfortunately it's unavoidable at this point, which is
Yeah, and
mm,
I think like social media obviously plays that like such a big role in like weight loss journeys, and like obviously we've spoken about like the negatives, but I mentioned at the start of this
mm,
that like you're sharing your journey on social media. Do you want to give us a
yeah.
bit of a, I guess, a bit of a lowdown of like why you decided to share your journey?
Basically, it was just an accountability sort of diary for myself. I thought if I put myself out there, I've got nowhere to hide and like I've got no excuses because it's right there. And not only that, it was just kind of like a nice sort of diary to keep track of my progress and just a way to like connect with other people who were on the same sort of journey as me, because there wasn't a lot of like people in my sort of immediate life and circle who were on a weight loss journey, and I wanted people that I could connect and share my struggles with, share my wins with. So I just started posting, and then it just kind of like snowballed and blew up from there, really. And it's turned into something really wonderful, actually. Yeah, I really, really love it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you've really just shared is just so honestly about your journey, and I think we've seen the best parts and the worst
Mhm.
parts and all the in betweeny parts, and that's part of the beauty of it because it's showing that weight loss isn't just this. Oh look, I got skinny. Like
Yeah.
it's the hard days. It's the this. It's and you shared in your story the other day about like hair loss and things like that.
Mhm.
Like all of that comes down to like weight loss, but these are the things that we're not talking about and how you can lose weight in a healthy way and that can still have effects and like side effects. Like and like I think you're sharing so rawly like your journey, then yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you. I think I just kind of got to a point where I just sort of told myself I have to be honest with myself, because like I've done it before. I've like looked on other people's profiles and I think, oh my God, they're doing so well. Like why am I not doing that? Why am I not dropping weight as fast? Why am I not enjoying the process as much? And not saying that they were like being fake, but they were just showing all the good things because like they want to inspire people, and that's fair enough. But for me, like I need to vent. I'm such a yapper, like and a major oversharer. So for me, like to be able to have like a safe space for me to kind of vent my feelings is really important. And not only that, it's again that sharing that struggle thing. So I put out about the hair loss the other day, and so many people message say I've had the same thing. Like I don't know what to do. Like I've not heard anyone talking about this, and I don't feel for me that any sort of areas of discussion are off limits, because there's so many things that sort of go on behind the scenes, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. That, like you said, there are some like negative sides of things, and I don't want people to get a false sense of this is going to be like the best thing ever, because actually in reality it's really not. It's bloody hard, and there's a lot of like negative sides to it. Obviously more positive. Just want to put that out. It's obviously more positive, but yeah, there are some things.
Yeah, and it's such a like I think to acknowledge that it isn't, and like losing weight won't make you happier in the sense like it won't just infinitely improve your life because you weigh
Hmm.
less. Like that's not the reason why your life
Yeah,
would improve. But like saying like actually you've got to say that the benefits that you'll get from losing weight will be outweighed by like the benefits will outweigh the like the negatives of it, and going okay, well cool. So what, I have these side effects. I can now walk up a hill without getting out of breath. Like yeah.
100%. And that's the kind of thing, I think that's actually kind of where my mindset shift has come in, because I used to be all about the scales, like numbers going down. It has to be consistent, has to be dropping fast, all that sort of stuff. Whereas now I actually don't really weigh myself. It's once in a blue moon. I kind of go on like non-scale things because I think it's so easy to get just so consumed by the scales. Like you can step on it one day and you've lost 3 pounds, step in it the next day and you've gained it back and maybe some more. And there's so many different like fluctuations that our body go through. Like obviously our menstrual cycles impact things, water weight, just so many things that can do it. And for me, like that constant jumping around really threw me off. So now I just don't focus on that and focus more on kind of how much more positive my body feels and how much more positive my movement feels. And that's kind of like what I'm holding on to. Like the weight loss really is just a bit of a bonus. It's
Yeah.
not the main like focus anymore, whereas before it was all about that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's such an amazing shift, and I think for me, when I went on my weight loss journey, like, it was for a similar reason. Like,
Mm,
yes, I wanted to lose weight and have less body fat. I knew the amount of body fat I had wasn't promoting health, but
yeah.
I also was like, "But I wanna be able to go for a walk and talk to someone at the same time and not be out of breath. I wanna be able to, like, lift heavy stuff up and not feel like my
Mm,
body's about to fall apart." Like, it
yeah.
was little things like that that, like, make such a difference that I was like, "Yeah, let's do this. This is gonna be worth it."
I don't think like I realized until I actually lost the weight how much I was struggling when I was at my heaviest. It's like you say, like silly little things like being able to walk and talk and breathe all at the same time. That was completely impossible for me. Whereas now I'm getting better at it. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I actually can't breathe. But and then the silly little things like if I was bending down or crouching down on the floor to like change my son's nappy or even like get into the bottom cupboards in the kitchen, my knees would feel like they're about to explode. And it's like this isn't normal. Whereas now I'm springing about all over the place. Life and movement just feels less taxing. And that is such a rewarding feeling. And that's kind of what's igniting my fire to keep me going, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just, God, yeah, so many things improve. So many things.
And I think that's the difference from having the perspective of I'll be happy when I hit X weight to,
Hmm.
well, look at how much better my life is on this journey where weight
Yeah.
loss is coming as a part of it, but it's not the whole thing. Like, look at how much better the quality of life I have
Yeah.
is.
100%. Like, I just have more energy to do things. Like, for me, my main thing was I just wanted to be able to, like, be present with my kids, play with my kids, and, like, just be able to just live a general life without feeling so heavy and so taxed and also limited. Because I feel like I got to the point where I felt like I couldn't do anything because my weight got in the way and I was scared to travel. I was scared to do all these different things because, like, you see so many, like, people sharing their experiences when they're traveling plus size and kind of how frightening it is to sit in an airplane seat and have that like buckle do up and all that sort of stuff. And I don't want to live in that fear of, is this going to hold me back? Is this going to get in the way? I just want to be able to just do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's such an interesting one because I think there's also a perspective that comes from like the anti-diet culture side of things. Those where it's like, well, people shouldn't have to exist like that, and they shouldn't have to worry about sitting in plane seats and sitting in, like so sitting in the theatre in the chair, not fitting them because it was made for some Victorians. Like, it's little things like that that's like it's really important that we have those conversations.
Hmm.
But to also recognize that it's on you, it's okay for you as an individual to want to change, to want
Yeah.
to say, I want different for me, and to go,
Yeah.
that's okay. And I think that's why it's important to go, let's talk about weight loss, let's talk about doing it in a sustainable way. And let's say we're not we don't have to ignore that, but we also can say, but I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be the lived part of that. And that's all right as
Yeah.
well.
I think I got to the point where, because I love body positivity as a movement. I think, everybody is worthy of respect. Everybody deserves to be treated kindly, no matter what their size, shape, whatever. But I got to a point where I think I was using body positivity as an excuse not to change. And again, not saying that people have to change, but I've seen a lot of like discourse where people start to lose weight and they sort of say it's fat phobic and all that sort of stuff. But for me, like my weight was really impacting my life, and I I can't remain uncomfortable for the comfort of someone else. Like it's a little bit of a selfish movement, but it has to be done because otherwise I'm just damaging I'm damaging myself and limiting myself. Like if they want to stay at that size and they're happy there, then I'm all in support of that. But I need to change because it's negatively impacting me. So I love body positivity, but I do feel it's quite scary when you're on the kind of more radical side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree, like, I was in exactly the same position of, like, I felt like I was being a bad feminist for wanting to change my body and not being
Hmm.
100% happy with how I was, and I had to really address it with myself and go, "Hang on, but who's suffering because of this?"
Yeah,
Like, and I was like, and that's still me saying I'm not gonna change because of other people is not the right reason not to
yeah,
change, like, that's still people pleasing, like, that's not solving the problem. So it's like,
exactly
it's
that.
alright to change.
And not only that as well, I think we kind of have to like appreciate as well that we don't actually know these people online when they're saying like, oh, you shouldn't do this because of this, that, and the other. It's like, well, actually, you don't know me. like your opinion obviously matters, but it doesn't hold that much weight to me. Like I've got to, if it was someone in my close life, maybe it would be a little bit different. And obviously, like I appreciate people's opinions and thoughts in that, but at the same time, I think sometimes you just got to brush some of them off and almost be a bit selfish and do what you need to do for yourself. And I think a lot of us kind of have to have that chat with ourselves. And I see a shift now where actually a lot of like body positive influencers, or in a way like fat acceptance and like those sort of sides of things, are actually starting to lose weight now. And there's sort of like a lot of discourse and ruffling of feathers in that community. And it's, I can understand why, because when you have someone who's like a figurehead of body positivity and they've sort of said like fat acceptance, being fat is okay, like you can live your life at this sort of weight, but secretly behind the scenes they're not enjoying it. It's quite difficult because a lot of people sort of follow their lead and then almost feel like betrayed when they start losing weight. But then you've got to appreciate like this is a person. Like opinions can change. You can change your stance on anything if you have more knowledge about something, or if something starts to affect you differently. But yeah, it's a bit of a minefield out there at the moment. But I know
Yeah.
for me it has to be done for me, and so far it's been nothing but positive effect on my life. So it's a no-brainer for me to keep going with it, really.
Yeah, and that's it. Like you can look at the overall narrative, but at the end of the day, you're an individual, and how
Hmm.
you feel in your body is the most important thing. Like if you're staying in a body that you're not happy in to appease other people, and you're saying I'm not allowed to change my mind, or I'm not allowed
Hmm.
to make decisions around my body because I said something 10 years ago, that is ridiculous. Like, and that's where we need to acknowledge that like people are allowed to change their mind.
Yeah.
Like, and like exactly as you said, when new information comes to light, it's all
Hmm.
right. And I think like with the rise of like the GLP ones, we've seen a lot of people who were at the forefront of the body positivity movement are now losing weight, and it's people are like, oh yeah, and now they're on Ozempic, and it's like, yeah, but so what? Like,
Yeah,
it's like it's their body; they get to decide.
exactly that. And it's like, I think the GLP ones, I'm very mixed on them. I think for the most part, I do feel positively about them because they are such a fantastic tool for people who really need them. Like to be able to sort of aid someone and get them kickstarted on like their weight loss journey, like that's the best thing ever. But at the same time, I also feel like it's kind of getting a little bit dangerous, and it almost like fad and feeding into like the skinny stuff again. And it's again kind of what side of the coin you're on and what side of the algorithm you're on as well, especially with like social media and that. But it's, yeah, I see a lot of like the bigger body positivity influencers start using it, and again they're free to do so. Like hell yeah, go for it. Like you've got to do what you have to do to make your body feel good, make yourself feel good, and you've kind of just got to, you know, let go of what other people have to say, because at the end of the day, like you said, it's your lived experience.
Yeah, it's one of those things as well, like where it is just up to the individual, like and
Hmm.
how you do it. And I think a lot's coming out about GLP ones at the moment, and there's still a lot of data coming out about them.
Hmm.
But what's the most interesting thing is those that are using it as a quick fix, and it's the same as what you said with like weight loss in general. That at the end of the day, you're losing weight, and someone who is doing it because they absolutely hate their body is losing weight. The outcome is weight loss, but the like motivation behind it is probably what shifted. I know this is probably what the difference is, and that's probably what the difference was as well between you 10 years ago trying to lose weight and you now. Is where's that motivation actually coming from? What gives you the oomph? And that's yeah, probably what the shift is.
Yeah, I say for me, like the motivation, like I said before, was just I just want a good quality of life, but I don't want to feel restricted. I don't want to feel like I'm getting in the way of myself, because there's so many things that I'd love to be able to do. Like whenever we go to Centre Parks, my son always does like the rock climbing and that. It's got weight limits on it, and unfortunately, like at the moment, I exceed the weight limits, and it's really sad as a parent when your kids are like, "Oh, come and join in, like come and do this with me," and it's like I can't, like, I actually can't do it. Whereas I want to be there with him, and like, because I know that I'd be capable of doing it. I'm just held back by my weight, and I don't want that anymore. Because again, it's not fair on me, and it's not fair on him. And like having those constant motivators and reasons why, I think is really, really important, because that's the sort of thing that keeps it all going. Especially like because it is hard, and I have days where I'm like, oh, do you know what? I can't be asked to cook 3 healthy, balanced meals. I can't be asked to hit my protein. I can't be asked to go to gym. I can't be asked to do any of it. But then I think to myself, like, yes, it's hard now. But then I remember when I was at my absolute heaviest and how everything felt hard. And just getting up off the sofa, I was like, oh, I can't do it. And it's now I spring up all over the place. And it's like, yeah, you just got to hold on to those things and really, really, really like remember what you're doing it for.
Yeah. And like and that's such a fantastic like way to phrase it is like why are you doing this? And that reason can be yeah for yourself so that you can get up off the sofa and it can also be so that you can go rock climbing with your kids, like multiple reasons. I tend to find that like the deeper you can find a reason, the more motivated you will be and the easier you will find your fat loss journey. Like if you
Hmm.
can dig into those like deeper layers of why you're doing this, you will find everything so much easier. Like if it's just surface level, like you are just going to procrastinate and you are going to be in this yo-yo cycle, you need to find out why. Why is this important?
Yeah, and I think for me, like I spent so many years at that surface level where I was like, oh, I just want to be a size 12 because that's what I should be. Like I should be a size 12. Everyone's like all this, that, and the other. And it's like, actually, no, that's not really a strong enough reason. And it never was a strong motivator. And I always ended up falling off like the wagon after like a couple of weeks. And I'd go back to binging because I'd restrict myself too much. And it was just never enough of a driving force to actually keep me going. Whereas now I feel like I've actually got quite a solid reason. I suppose as well, like it's one of those things like as you get those positive results and as things start to improve and change, as you start building your like positive habits, eating better, exercise and all that sort of stuff, that result also keeps you going. Whereas when I was sort of doing all the crap that I did before, I was getting a result, but it wasn't the same. Like I still had no energy because I wasn't fueling myself properly. I still was struggling with like fatigue and everything still felt taxing. Whereas now I couldn't run a marathon. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I actually could. Like I've improved that much.
Yeah. 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 It's just like that confidence that you've now got. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, I walked with and able to breathe and talk at the same time. Like I could essentially do anything I wanted now.
I had the epiphany the other day and I was like, do you know what I could do? I could do an ultra marathon. And I was like, Holly, the idea of running a marathon, you find ridiculous. Like you couldn't do that just yet. I was like, do you think an ultra marathon is going to be easier than the marathon? I was like, where are you getting this logic from? But like, it was that silly sense of confidence was coming through. And I was like, I can do this. I've got this 50 kilometers. And I was like, no, probably not.
Hon- Honestly, I'm the same. Like whenever like the London Marathon comes around and I see people post on
Yeah.
social media that they've done it, I'm like, that's me. Next year, that is me crossing that finish line.
Yeah.
I've not run ever, and I probably might die if I try it. But I guess it's like it's inspiring, isn't it? Especially like when I see it where like someone's run the London Marathon and they've come from like a place of weight loss and they've been like 20 plus stone and now they're running the marathon. Like it kind of gives people like me hope that actually, do you know what? It actually might be achievable. I'm still delusional. But maybe.
I like that you're like, it might be achievable, 100% could do it though. It's like, this is it. I figured it out. The marathon. So, thinking back to your weight loss journey then, and just being purely delusional, what have you done differently this time? Like, what have been the main things that, like, in terms of like your habits, your behaviors, like, what has been different this time?
I guess having like quite a solid routine. And I think the gym sort of plays quite a big role in that because I train 3 days a week. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:45 a.m. and I do that every single week. And it's tough, but like that's my routine now. And I think actually sort of incorporating exercise and especially something like weightlifting where you need to fuel your body. I'm focusing my food on my like gym performance now, if that makes sense. So I'm not just eating in a calorie deficit just to lose weight. I'm eating in a calorie deficit and having high protein so that I can fuel myself in the gym, because like when you lift those heavy weights you get those like that instant like gratification of hell yeah, like I feel really really good. It gives you that like absolute boost of like endorphins and everything, and I want to perform well in the gym and I have to eat properly to perform well. And I think having that exercise component with it and having that additional thing to focus on instead of just focusing on the scales and that has actually really sort of like helped me cement like my habits in that. And it's taken a while to build up. Like when I first started going back to the gym and I was doing the early mornings, it was absolute hell on earth. Like my alarm would go off and I'd be like, oh my god, like I actually don't want to. Like why am I getting up at 4:30 in the morning to get ready? Like why am I doing this? But now it's the best part of my day. I actively look forward to it because I get such a good feeling from it. Even on the exercises that I hate, like TRX rolls, bury and split squats, hate them. Whenever they're on my program, I'm like, why have you programmed this in? Like, how dare you? But even that is enjoyable because it's just another step forward to feeling so much better in my body. And yeah, just having the exercise. I would honestly encourage anyone to pick a form of exercise. Like, don't stick at something if you're not going to enjoy it. Like, I probably wouldn't enjoy, even though I said I was going to run a marathon, I probably wouldn't enjoy like running. So I'd give up on it. Whereas the gym, I just like weightlifting. I feel like I could pick up a car and throw it. I feel really powerful. I like it, and
Yeah.
having that enjoyment. I think you've just got to find something you enjoy, and if it's fun, then you're gonna want to put more into it because again, it's something you enjoy. That's a lot
Yeah.
of words. Whoa.
I think I took two main things from that. The first thing is that you are delusional enough to think that you could run a marathon without training, and that was thing number one. So the most important thing. And, thing number two was that in terms of like you lifting weights and you feeling strong, like that's all about you gaining things in your life, like you being able to do hard
Mm,
stuff, like and do hard stuff like better, like over time,
yeah.
like that is so important. And I think like something that I see as a coach is like if you have been in a bigger body, you have been carrying around more weight, which therefore means that like your body is already used to heavier loads. So when
Mhm.
you go to the gym, you can pick up heavy shit, which is
Yeah.
basically the best way to put it, which
Oh, it's
means that
great.
you're a lot yeah, like you can use physics to your advantage. So go take advantage of that, go lift some heavy stuff
Yeah.
and go feel good about yourself. And like that is such a powerful thing to do. So if you're thinking like, oh, but I'm like I'm in a bigger body, I won't look right in the gym, like go look at power lifters. Like if you
Mm.
go look at like most Olympic level power lifters and like Olympic lifters, they are not teeny tiny people, like and by no means because there's an advantage to having like more like weight behind you sometimes.
Oh,
And strength
100%.
training is one of those times that you might benefit from that.
Honestly, it's great. Like, it's absolutely great. But then sometimes I almost feel like a little bit guilty because one of the things that I get like commented on the most on my social media, like I posted a while ago where I benched 75 kilograms, and people in the comments were like, oh, I wish I could do that. Like, I'll never be able to hit that. And I almost feel like a little bit like I've cheated because I
Yeah.
know I've kind of got that like mass and strength behind me, whereas they don't. And it's kind of like, what do I say in that situation? Because like I want to hype myself up because I am strong and I have worked hard to sort of gain that. But at the same time, I want to hype you up and not make you feel like you're not as capable. It's such a difficult one. But I kind of feel like for me especially, and I think a lot of people in like bigger bodies are probably get the same thing that I did. I didn't realize how capable I was until I actually started like implementing strength training and that because I always write myself off as completely useless because I kind of feel like that's kind of the fat stereotype, the fat trope. Like you're just kind of fat and useless, you can't really do anything. Whereas actually you are a lot more capable than you give yourself credit for. And again, that's another thing that keeps me going. Like when I did paintballing on the weekend, I was so terrified to go because I thought to myself, I'm not going to be able to run around. I'm going to make a fool of myself. I'm not going to be able to do it. And when I actually got into it, I was completely fine. Like, yeah, I didn't sprint around like everyone else, but I ran a little bit. But
Yeah.
I immediately wrote myself off as not being able to do it. And I feel like a lot of people who are at a bigger size probably won't want to step foot in the gym because they feel like they're not going to be good and they're going to get laughed at, ridiculed when actually it's not the case. You are like people are so much more capable than they think they are, and that's again one of the things that I get from the gym. Like I remind myself that actually I can do hard things.
Yeah.
It's
And like I think that's sometimes like a muscle within itself that needs to be flexed is the practicing of you
hmm
doing hard things. But the first thing is if you are having these thoughts in your head and you're going, hang on, I'm doing I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. I won't be capable enough. I won't be strong enough.
hmm
Where's your evidence for that? And like who's
yeah,
telling you that? Because it's you. Like
yeah,
you are telling yourself these things over and over again. So if
hmm
you just question that and go, actually, do I have any evidence for this? And a really good question for that is like, would this stand up in court? Like, okay, I couldn't lift 75 kg. Right, well, you ever tried it? No. Right, well, that definitely wouldn't stand up in court. And you want to maybe think about these things first, and like again, like it goes back to exactly what you said earlier about the bench press. Like, you can't make yourself smaller so that other people are happier. Like
hmm
that's not fair. Like that's not how your life should work. So asking you to and then doing that to yourself, you're the person who suffers. And I think there's a point where we have to address it and go, why am I making myself suffer here? Like, or
yeah,
do I deserve better? Of course I deserve better than this. So go treat yourself to a gym session, like go lift some heavy stuff and prove that you can. Like, I always like to see things as like, basically like a prove yourself right or prove yourself wrong, but like go prove
Hmm.
yourself like either way. Like, okay, well I can't do it. Yeah. Like I can't lift 75 kg. Yeah. Like, but what how do you get there? Well, it isn't by doing nothing. It isn't by sitting at home and wondering why you can't lift 75 kg. It's by going to the gym and practicing and doing this over and over and over again. And yeah, like it's okay to not be perfect on your first go, and you can just keep going until, you know, you get to where you wanna be. Right,
Exactly. And I
let's
tell you
talk.
what, one thing that my coach actually said to me. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, no, go
I
ahead.
think I've. Oh, sorry. It was all catching up then a little bit. It kind of like started lagging. I don't know
No,
if we're
no worries,
back
go ahead.
or oh, sorry. I just want to sort of circle back just very quickly about because you sort of said about making yourself smaller to that. One thing my coach actually said to me when I was at the gym, because I do train with other people, I do get a lot of people say to me like, "Oh my God, you are so strong! Like, I can never do that." And I always say, "Well, I'm like 400 times the size of you." And he was like, "I don't want you to say that anymore." He was like, "Next time someone says, 'Oh, you're really strong,' he was like, 'I just want you to say thank you and nothing else.'" And it's like, yeah, because you do just sort of like, I'll make excuses as to why I could do it. But yeah, sorry, it was all catching up there. It all went a little bit.
And that was an excellent point, and this was something that I figured out, like, when I was about, like, probably just before I started my weight loss journey. It was that I couldn't take a compliment. Like, I couldn't accept a compliment when it was given, and it's the same in that situation. If I have to feel like why I can justify that I can do hard things, and it's not, "Thank you." Like, and, like, I just found that the phrase, "Thank you, I really appreciate you saying that," like, worked really well. We do it all the time with clothing. Like, if you ever ask, like, a woman, like, "Oh, oh, I really like your top. Thanks, I got it from here," or like, "Oh, this is just an old thing," like, and it's all this, like, extra detail. It can never just be like, "Thank you." Like, and the only one I will accept is, "Thank you, it's got pockets." Like, that's the only time I'll ever extra info on clothing. Like, it is there's what's really important. Or if you wanna tell me you got it from a charity shop just because it was a great find. I'll accept both of those. But, like, anything else, like, where we're adding in this, like, "Oh, yeah, but," you've not taken the compliment. You say, "Thank you," and then, like, you kinda move on, and that is so hard to do as well. Like, good for your coach for
Yeah,
pointing that out.
he's really great. Like he's just been absolutely fantastic. Like throughout the whole thing, and it's nice as well. Like I feel very privileged that I've got such a great coach. Like to be fair, in all my gym experiences, like I've only ever been to two gyms, and all of the coaches that I've ever trained with have been incredible. But the coach that I have now, well, coaches Connor and Rachel, they're just they're just two people that just want to see everyone win, and like you can tell that they want the best for everyone, and it comes from like a really really genuine place. So you like feel safe to trust their judgment, and you feel safe to sort of take their compliments, take their advice. And it's actually really important when you're on this sort of journey to have people who are in your corner, and also to have people who are going to push you when you need it, sort of call you out on your crap when you're sort of misbehaving. And a lot of the people that attend the gym that I go to are those types of people. I remember posting an Instagram story ages ago, and I went into like Tesco's and had like a really like shit meal, and it was like chicken from a packet, eggs, all that sort of stuff. And one of the guys from the gym was like, "Beth, what are you doing?" He was like, "You could have made this at home. It would have took you 5 minutes. Like, come on, you can do better than that." And like at the time, I was like, "How dare you? How dare you insult my chicken and eggs?" But actually, he was completely right. And him calling that out and saying, "No, come on, like you've got this, you can do better than that," was actually really, really helpful. But yeah, having people in your corner, like coaches, friends, people on social media is so, so important. They really do like drive you to do better and like get the absolute best out of yourself because they just want to see you succeed, like genuinely.
Yeah. And like that's what's important is like if you can find people to have in your corner who will want to see you succeed, that makes the world of difference. Like
Mm,
especially if there's someone that like you trust to guide you through this journey because it's not easy to lose weight and to build the habits to keep it off long term. Like so
yeah.
like to do that is so important that you recognize one, it's going to be not a 5 minute journey. It's going to take
Hmm.
you some time and that's all right. And two, to accept that it's okay to have someone else to challenge you, to bring up your behaviors, to say to you, like, let's push this a little bit harder, or like, come on, we know you can do like a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
And to also like not be afraid to challenge them back and be like, well, why do I have to do it like this? And like, why
Hmm.
do I have to do it like that? And like give me explanations because I find that like in a lot of situations, like knowledge is power. So like if you know what you're doing and why you're
Yeah.
doing it, you're way more likely to do it. So like in those situations, have someone who knows more than you that can guide you through that journey. Like it will make such a difference.
Exactly that, and that's what I get from, like, my coach as well. Because I sort of knew, like, about how good protein was, but when he sort of said to me, like, "No, actually, this is what it does, this is what I'm gonna do for you, why it's so important in your calorie deficit, why it's so important for, like, muscle build," and, like you said, knowledge is power, and having that information makes you feel more well equipped to sort of make those choices that you need to make with your food, like your nutrition, all that sort of stuff that's gonna, again, help propel you forward. And just I love having information. Like, I'm such like a sponge. Once I get interested in something, I want to know everything, like absolutely everything. So being on this like weight loss journey and that, I'm always researching different things. Like if someone says to me, "Oh, have you heard of this?" No, I haven't. Okay, I'll go and look it up. And just having all of these like resources and again information in that sort of like Rolodex that you can access is honestly priceless.
Just as a slight side note, I've never heard someone say Rolodex in a real term conversation. In a real life conversation.
I'm like, I've had a kid. Do I use it in the right context?
Yeah, I was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I don't think you're that much older than me, and I've never seen a Rolodex."
And it's just, I'm 30. Am I old?
Yeah, I was like, I don't think they had those in, what year are you, 1994, 1995? I don't
No,
think
no,
they were really that busy amongst 0 months olds. But yeah, no, fair enough. So yeah, other than Beth and her Rolodex of protein information, I think like exactly as you said there though, like knowing why you're doing things and knowing that I bet you eat more protein now that you know why you're eating protein and what the point of it is. I bet it was a
God,
lot
yeah.
easier to find ways to get it in than like what it was before.
Yeah, 100%. And in fact, one of the things that Connor said to me, he was like, with your protein intake, he was like, we want it nice and high because it's going to keep you really full. He was like, most importantly, it's going to keep you really full. And he even said to me, like, you'll get to a point where you have like a really, really high protein breakfast. You're probably not going to really feel that hungry for lunch, but you're going to eat your lunch anyway, which I do. And then you're not going to feel that hungry for dinner, but you're going to eat it anyway. And it's completely stopped me from snacking. But I used to raid the cupboards all day, every day. Anything I could find, I'd ram it in my gob. But now I'm too full. And it's been increasing that protein intake has been an absolute savior. I think that's where I've always failed before, because I haven't like fueled myself properly and given myself like enough satiating foods, and it's really, really shown this time round.
Yeah. And I think that's such an important thing to say as well, because protein is also, if you're going to the gym, it's also then giving you the building blocks
Hmm.
to build muscle. So you're giving your body everything that it needs to build that muscle. So that's really important for the long-term like aspect of it as well. So like muscle burns more calories just by existing than what fat does. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn just by existing. So it's
Yeah.
really useful to have that muscle around because as you lose weight, you're going to become less expensive. But if you've got more muscle, you become less expensive. So like it's worth just knowing that and knowing, okay, well, actually, building muscle is going to be a benefit to me, not just now, but in the long term,
Hmm.
from a health perspective for sure, but like from a weight loss perspective, especially. Like, so taking all of these benefits and going, okay, well, if I know that I lift weights, yeah, it's going to help me now, but it's going to help me later. I know if I eat my protein, it's going to help me now and it's going to help me later.
Hmm.
I know if I do this, it's going to help me now. And like steps and just little things like will just make such a difference. But if you want to stay fuller for longer, protein, fiber, your best friends. And to be honest, if
Yeah.
you want good health, protein, fiber, your best friends. So just really useful things to get in.
So I feel like fiber's the one that I've got to look out for more because a lot of people keep saying like fiber, 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 and I think it's a good intake. I don't know. Again, that might be something that I have a little devil in a research in, but yeah, fiber's one that I keep hearing a lot. So
Yeah,
we'll get
a
that in.
really easy one on fiber is we'll just check what you're currently eating. But just as a caveat, if you track through something like MyFitnessPal,
Hmm.
sometimes not everything has its fiber in the numbers. So I've
Yeah.
tracked like a Zuma before and it's had zero fiber in it, which is not accurate. So then it's been like, oh, but I've not seen my fiber's not been right at the end of the day. So just checking that what you are adding in has fiber in. And
Yeah.
then the second thing is if you don't want to track your fiber intake, you can always just track your plant intake. So track different plants across the week.
Okay.
So 30 like 30 is your kind of top point. You can go over 30 happily, but like 30 is your goal. But just go, right, what different plants am I eating? And make it into a bit of a game. Across the week, you've got to eat 30 different plants. Another way you can do it is to eat the rainbow. So eat something from every single colour of the rainbow
Mm.
across the week. gamify it, like, and it just makes eating fiber way more interesting. Also, it just means it's not an extra thing to track, because sometimes it can feel like, oh my God, I'm tracking protein and I'm tracking
Yeah.
calories, and I'm tracking fiber. Like, just doing those little things makes it a lot more like fun, and it can just be an extra little bit of novelty on your weight loss journey. Because if you're, look, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months into your weight loss journey, and you're looking at this and going, God, I understand my fitness pal now. Like, I know what a calorie looks like.
Mm.
Adding in that bit of novelty and going, cool, we're going to work on fiber now. We're going to eat the rainbow. We're going to do 30 plants. Like,
What you said about the game though, and like sort of making it into a game actually is what I do with like all of my meals. So like when I'm thinking of my food, it's a little game of like how much food can I get on my plate for as little calories as possible. And
yes.
like almost like becomes a little like task, and it's fun. Because I come up with like all these different like concoctions. And I'm like, I would have never thought of that, but I'm trying to keep it as low as possible whilst having as much on my plate as possible. And yeah, and sort of making it into a little bit of a numbers game. It's in a really sad way, like you know what I mean? It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, as you were saying that, today I tracked my intake for like the first time in ages. I was like, I'm just going to go through, just check that I'm like eating as I'm expecting to eat. I don't track calories anymore. But I was like, I'm just going to check that I'm hitting the numbers that I'm expecting that I'm hitting. And as I was going through, I was like, this is kind of fun. And I was like, oh, we don't want to track, so stop it. But I was like, you're just so nerdy to just enjoy. And I was like, oh my God, this has X amount of protein in it. And I was like, oh, I'm on 78 grams already. And like, I was getting so excited by it. And I was like, God, yeah, I can tell I've not tracked calories for ages, because
So
I was like, wow.
do you not track at all?
Nope. So I stopped tracking. I finished my weight loss journey around 2021. I got to like my lowest weight. And then I did a photo shoot, which I tracked again for, because I was bringing my body weight significantly lower. And then I haven't tracked really since then. I've done like little bouts, but not really. And one thing that I really encourage people to do is to move away from tracking as a skill, like in maintenance. Because you probably don't need to track for the rest of your life. Like, after you've tracked for a while, I tracked for the best part of 3 years, and then I understood food and how food works. I didn't really need to track. I will do it every now and again to double check that what I'm eating is accounting for it, or even just to give myself that little bit of extra accountability and go, am I eating as I'm expecting to be eating, or am I
Yeah.
cutting corners and saying I'm doing one thing but I'm not actually doing it? So I use it as a tool now, and it's just been like, let's pull this here, like I need to use it now, or how does this work? That my issue at the moment is, because I'm running so much, my appetite's increased. So I
Yeah.
needed to check that I was getting my calories from the right place,
Yeah.
because if I'm not careful, I just go, oh, well, I've eaten my meals as usual. And now what I'm going to do is just eat more calories, but the calories come in poorer quality food. So now I'm just going, right, okay, well, how do we need to build my meals out that little bit better? And it's just coming back to the drawing board and going, oh, yeah, that needs to change there, that needs to change there, that needs to change there. I'll track for a couple of weeks or so, and then I'll go back to not tracking. I occasionally
Yeah.
do like a random day just to double check that I have understood, like, but again, that's like once every 6 months. So yeah, I think like moving away from tracking is a skill to be learned, but it's a skill that can be learned, so you don't have to track for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, that's a point that I'd love to get to, where I've sort of like, once I get to my sort of goal weight or goal sort of feeling slash size, whatever would that end point may be, I would love to be able to just have that like freedom of sort of knowing what I'm doing, but also not having to be so like meticulous of everything. Because I kind of feel like tracking is great, but it's probably, like you said, not sustainable like for the rest of your life, because it can be quite intense. But
Yeah.
just to not have to track but still maintain your weight, like I suppose that's all the knowledge that you've built up along the journey then. I think that's why it's so important to sort of really take focus on what you're doing, because it's going to benefit you in the long run, because it's just going to become second nature. And that's what you want, isn't it? To just have it in your day-to-day life but not really think about it.
Yeah. One of the tricks that people often don't talk about, and this is one of the reasons that like I think you can move away from tracking, is that people don't learn to track at maintenance. So you need to learn what your maintenance calories look like, and doing that for a while and understanding what that looks like, because you've been in a deficit. Like, you know what your deficit calories look like, but you don't know what a day of eating with your maintenance calories looks like. So it's really easy just to slip into this cycle of, exactly as I was saying, I don't know if I was increasing my calories, but not from the best quality foods. So then it's about going, okay, well, let's understand how to eat 2,000 calories to 300 calories in a day of high quality foods, because you're probably very good at eating 1,600 calories, 1,800 calories worth of food in like in a deficit and like you track your calories there. But the second you're adding on 500 extra calories, it's easy to go, well, great, we'll have a muffin and a chocolate bar and that'll be a
Yeah,
job done. But like that's not going to help. Like that's not where we want to bring nutrition. So understanding and tracking that maintenance for a while is very useful. And then you
yeah.
could start pull tracking days away as well. But that's a like lose weight and then do the track at maintenance for a while and then pull your tracking days away. And it's a super possible thing to do.
Yeah, what you said there about like the quality of calories as well, like that's something that I've really focused on this time around with my weight loss because last year I sort of did a lead up to my 30th birthday and I was eating in a calorie deficit, but my food choices were a lot different to what they are now. And I've noticed that the way I eat now, it's so much better than how I was before because I was kind of sort of having the same foods that I was anyway, just having less of them, but they weren't keeping me full. I wasn't feeling my best. Whereas the way that I eat now, I'll still have what I want, but I'll just add what I need to it. And sort of having that mindset and focusing on like the quality of my food has just made it so much easier to actually maintain this diet. And it's weird as well because the better I eat, the less I crave. Like I don't have as much cravings anymore, which was one of the things that I think really, really tripped me up in the beginning because I just wanted everything because I'd never deprived myself of it, but I was like, oh, I can't really have it as much anymore. And I would always like binge on it, and just kind of go a bit haywire. Whereas now I really don't crave as much. And honestly, not having those cravings makes everything so much easier. So
Yeah,
much
and that
easier.
that will be coming from the higher protein, but also you mentioned it right at the start, but your relationship with food has improved. Like you're not
Mm,
seeing these foods as, oh my God, they're going away. No, actually, I'm just going to include like higher quality foods in my life. And like where I have space to include these foods, absolutely they will
yeah.
find their way in there. But it's not oh my God, right, I just have to eat less now. I will eat exactly the same as what I am currently eating, just less of it. Because then you're going to be
Mm.
starving, like exactly as you said, and you won't stick to it.
Yeah, well, all the times before, I never did. So it's kind of the proof really, isn't it? That yeah, the more quality your food is, the better chance you're gonna have. And just it's hard at first, but oh God, it's so worth it. Pushing through and persevering, honestly. So
Yeah,
worth it.
and at the end of the day, any new behavior is gonna be tricky at first, but
Hmm.
that's okay. Like, you then get the privilege of getting to learn how to, like, do something new, like, and learn this new way. You've probably been eating, like, how you're eating right now for your entire life in some
Hmm.
degree. So asking yourself, "Well, I'm making changes." Let's say you're a 30-year-old, right? You got 30 years worth of like habit here. So you've got 30 years worth of doing it one way. Give yourself more than a few weeks to like crack that habit open. Like you're really not doing yourself justice if you go in like, oh yeah, well great, I've been doing this for the last 30 years, but I'm gonna fix it in 3 days.
Yeah,
Like
that sort of like expectation that things are gonna happen overnight. I feel like that's another trap that people fall into, and I've fallen into it all the time. And I think it's still something that I do struggle with to an extent. But having that like rapid turnaround or rapid results, like that's what people want. And actually, it's a long game. Like you do have to have patience with it. Annoyingly, you have to have patience. Like, but just yeah, longevity. And I've lost my train.
well, to add on to that, one of the best things that someone ever said to me was, it's we say we want a quick fix, and you say you want this to be fixed in 12 weeks or whatever, but how many years have you been doing 12 weeks? How many years have you just done 2 weeks and then fallen off track? How
Hmm.
many years have you been doing that? So it's not taking you 2 weeks to lose 14 pounds. It's taking you 10 years to be in exactly the same position that you're in right now. Dedicate a year to do it sustainably, to actually do it in a way that you change your lifestyle and behaviors. It's
Hmm.
taking you a lot less time than it's took you to get to this point. So
Oh,
it,
100%.
yeah,
And the thing is as well, like a year actually isn't that long of a time. Like in hindsight, it's really nothing. And one thing that I keep thinking of is like, I can't remember where I saw it to, but it was someone on TikTok was saying like, oh, I'm not going to start a business because it's going to take me too long and I've not got the time to dedicate. And someone was like, that time is going to pass anyway. So like you might as well, the time's going to go, so you might as well do what you can with it. And that's kind of where I am now, where I've spent so many years stuck at the same place saying like, okay, I'm going to do it now. Like now's my time. It always was my time, and the time that I could have had has just slipped away. And it's that sort of like feeling of regret of thinking, oh God, where could I have actually been? Where could I be now if I had actually committed to it back then and not waited for the perfect time? Like there's never going to be that perfect time. You just got to do now.
yeah. Yeah, like what is the point of waiting? Like all you are doing is delaying
Mm.
until you feel better. Like you're just delaying you feeling rubbish. Like you feeling better because you feeling rubbish right now. So you might as well make the change. So
Yeah.
it really is the it's you who's putting the brakes in. It's you who's saying I'm not doing this. I can't do this because like, and they're all just limiting beliefs. And like again, would that stand up in court? If that wouldn't stand up in court as a reason for you not to make a change, get on with it. What are you doing? Like, get a shuffle on. Like,
Yeah.
it's you who's holding yourself back. So, yeah. I guess on that note, then, what advice would you give to someone who was just starting out? Like, they were thinking, right, I've listened to this conversation. Beth and Holly have nailed it. I'm ready to go. What's your first piece of advice that you'd say to someone to get cracking?
That you've got to let go of things being done overnight. Like it's taken you years to get to the point where you are now. Like you don't just gain weight overnight. It's a steady build, and you've got to expect on the same sort of path that way. Um, Patience is going to be your best thing. Knowledge is also going to be your best thing. Like clue yourself up on as much as you can, and just take things slow. You don't have to like completely jump in overnight. Like one of the things that I did, I found it really overwhelming actually, the idea of like trying to overhaul my diet. So I just started a week of doing, how can I make the best breakfast that I possibly can? Like let's focus on this one meal a day, and then a week of that, and then I did breakfast and lunch, and then another week of that, then breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you build it up slowly. Like you can't just build a pyramid really, really tall. You have to build like a really solid foundation, because if you build it really tall, really fast, it's just going to topple. And every time I've tried before, that pyramid has just toppled. Whereas if you like build that solid foundation of your habits and actually take the time to really implement them to the point where they feel like second nature, that pyramid is going to be really, really strong, and you're going to have such a better base of foundation, and it's going to keep you stable. So don't rush anything. Like that is, I think, probably my one bit of advice. And also just find something that you really, really enjoy and stick at it, and just, yeah, follow the joy of it, because it is fun, it is joyful, but it can be hard to find it. And there is a lot of trial and error, but just don't give up on it, because you will find something. You really will. That's, yeah.
Just to add on to your last point as well there, like it's not about being perfect. Like you can make mistakes, you can get it wrong, like you can have days where you just can't be arsed and you
Mm,
just do something. If you've listened to my content before, you'll have heard me say about like the next best thing mindset. And if you're
mhm,
someone who like struggles in that, like, oh my God, I've not been perfect, I'm gonna fall off track. Like, well, what's the next best thing? Like if you can do the next best thing, then you've still moved forwards, you've not moved backwards at all. Like, and any movement in the right direction is still like is
mhm.
movement, and that's what we want. Like, so if you just keep yourself in motion, and object in motion stays in motion, it's a lot easier to stay in motion than what it is to constantly be starting and stopping and starting and stopping. So just crack on with it.
100%. Oh God, 100%. Like, I wish I didn't have that like perfectionist mindset. Like, because I'm a very all or nothing person in all areas of my life. I'm either 0 or 100, and trying to find that grey area can be really, really difficult. But I know for me, like I failed so many times before, because I'd be absolutely perfect, and like I was absolutely spot on with all my food. And then I'd have one bad day and I think, oh my God, I've thrown it all away. I might as well just binge on everything. And then you get into that cycle again, and it's just, you've just again wasted it so much. But like if I don't have 100% to give one day, and I can only give 60, I've still given 100%, because I've given everything of that 60% that I've had. And I think having that mindset as well, like you said, doing the best that you can, like second best on things, like still it's still a step in the right direction. Like you don't have to be perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. And even if you see it on social media, it ain't there.
Yeah.
It ain't
I,
there.
I, I'm gonna call you out now because you've just said that you're a perfectionist, you're all or nothing. What you've just described to me, it shows me that you're not a perfectionist anymore. You might have been a perfectionist, but
Yeah.
you're like, that is a past behavior, and that's all right that that was in the past, but you're not that person now. So give yourself credit, Beth. Come on.
No, but you're right though. And I think like sometimes it's hard to let go of like your past sort of failures and things like that. And that sort of gets in the way of you. But actually, no, you're right. I don't think like that anymore. And I don't need to say that I'm that, because I'm not. I've changed, I've grown, I've adapted, I've
Yeah.
Let go.
Yeah, and now that you know better, you know how to do better, you do better, and, like, that's the
Yeah.
whole point of growth, and, like, I guess that kind of brings us full circle back to the whole idea of, like, it's okay to change the way that you approach things, and it's okay to change the way that you do things and go, "Well, in the past, I was all or nothing, but now I am someone who is consistent, and I'm not perfect," and that's exactly what you need to be to do this journey.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, yeah, honestly, exactly that. Just let it all go. Just be as imperfect but as consistent as possible.
For sure. So to kind of like bring this episode to a close, which has been absolutely fantastic, Beth. I've absolutely loved chatting to you. But one final question that I ask everybody who comes on: what does being healthy mean to you? Like, what is health for you?
Ooh. I think for me, like health is just being able to do things as freely as possible without having any limitations with your body, mind. And obviously, this excludes things like disability, chronic health. Like, I'm not taking this into account. This is like for me as an able bodied person, but to just not be limited and to be able to move freely, think freely, like just to be able to exist and as I please and as I want without any sort of restrictions, whether that's my weight, body, just whatever. I know it probably doesn't make any sense. I've just said it out loud, but in my head that was like perfect.
Yeah, it was chef's kiss. You said it perfectly. Yeah. No, but I agree. Like, it's the being able to do what you want with your body, when you want with your body, and how you want to do it with your body. And like
Yeah.
the reason I ask this question to everyone is I feel like the way that we define health varies from person to person. So it's important to think about what healthy means for you and what standard you hold like healthy to in your life. And are
Mhm.
you at that yet? And like, how do you feel around that? And it doesn't necessarily just have to apply to like how you feel in your body. It can apply to like your relationship to your body, your relationship to food, your relationship to like your mental health. Like all of
Mhm.
these things can like combine into there. So yeah, if you've never like heard me ask that question before, definitely ask it to yourself. Like, what does being healthy mean to you? So Beth, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. This has been so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
If people want to find you, they want to follow you, and they want to go stalk your Instagram, TikTok, and so on, what's the best place to find you? And how well, basically, what are your details?
So on Instagram, I'm Beth Gets Badass, and then on TikTok, I'm just Beth Dymond. TikTok's like shit post. Instagram's the polish. It's not polished, but it's the more like weight loss focused, whereas TikTok is just it's a bit of a free for all over.
Yeah. So what you need to do at this point now is get your Rolodex out, pop those details. And then yeah, we're sure to go follow Beth. I'd highly recommend dropping her a follow for just raw and honest, like following someone on their weight loss journey. Thank you for sharing the content that you do because it's so enjoyable, and thank you so much for coming on, Beth.
Thank
And if
you.
you have enjoyed this episode, then please make sure that you give it a 5-star rating and review, all for Beth and her hard work. And make sure you subscribe to the show. But otherwise, have an absolutely fantastic rest of day.